Okay, so here's the scoop. We've been waiting in Bali Bay for a weather window so we can start heading south down the Mozambique Channel. And the weather shows that by the 21st, the area is going to be threatened with very high southerly winds, so we have to be off the water by the 21st. Now that would mean, at first glance, just waiting in Bali Bay for a week. But we haven't got the provisions for that, because after the week's time we're still stuck here having made no progress. Or going back to in the direction we came, to Mahajanga, and buying more food there and more fuel. We didn't like that either. No one likes to go backwards. So what we have decided to do, after quite a bit of discussion and thought, and it's not an easy thing to think about how to do this, we decided to go ahead and make the crossing of the Mozambique Channel and get across to the Mozambique side, as is optimal, and start south. And we should be able to get to the Primera Islands, which are basically small islands. They're atolls, and we may be able to shelter there while the strong wind goes by for a day. Or if luck is really with us, the strong winds may not come up the channel at all. It occasionally happens that they get held off and the weather stays good. Or we might be able to make better progress with the currents and the wind, and we might be able to actually get down to Imbahane or Bazaruto, where there is a really good shelter area. So those are our choices now. We've got today is the 17th, so 18, 19, 20, 21. We have 4 days, so maybe over 500 miles that we can handle. All of these things are possible. Now, we might be able to do some better than we thought, so we'll see what happens. And we're starting off today now. Very, very light winds. We got to get away from Madagascar and get away from this land effect, and we'll get some decent wind. Yeah, Matt's fishing gear is out again. We'll see if we can catch something. No. I didn't see it. The morning of October 18, we've got a little stowaway on board. Why don't you leave it on the deck where you can see a little piece of it, and maybe he'll fly down, just a piece. We'll see if he's a banana bird. Poor little guy, yeah, he didn't want to. Oh, I'm doing a little bit of editing here in my cabin. I was doing a little bit of that. Matt's asleep after his shift, and Carol's writing an email home, and at the moment I'm doing my laundry in the sink. That's what it's like, this glorious life. This wonderful life.
It's a wonderful life.
It's a wonderful life. There's no life like it.
Especially when you're not alone.
Yeah. Yeah. 18th of October. Just a light wind starting to fill in from the north as we expected. We got some more of that stuff on the water, whether it's pollen or whatever the hell that is. Just like we saw it in Australia, same thing again happening. No idea what that is. Well, we got some beautiful weather here. We're on our way to Ilha Casuarina on the Mozambique coast. Carol says there's dolphins out here. I don't happen to see any at the moment. Anyway, beautiful day, easy to move around on the boat. That means a lot. It's October 19. We're still making this passage across the Mozambique Channel. And as you can see, it's quite calm out here now. Not moving very quickly. But we'll get to our destination in time, a little island off the coast of Mozambique where we can hide from this southern buster that's coming up. And we're expecting to feel the first hints of him on tomorrow sometime. And then on Sunday, the day after that, it's going to get very windy. Maybe 25-30 knots, they say. But it might not be too bad where we are. We're up against the coast, and the coast seems to dampen down the wind a little bit. So, anyway, that's our first stop, our first hidey hole on the coast here, one that we hadn't considered making because we didn't know about it. Bazaruto, which was going to be our first stop, is going to have to happen a little later than that. That'll be our next little 3-day run to try to get to that before the next buster comes up. It's October 20, and we're only now about 25 miles away or so from Ilha Casuarina, and the very edges of the disturbance coming up from the south are evident all around us now. At the moment we're actually detouring around a thunderstorm. I don't like thunderstorms. When I heard a couple of low growls of thunder in the distance and saw some lightning, I decided to change course, and I think we're going to be able to get around it according to the radar. But you can tell it's not as pleasant a day out here, no more blue skies, and although the wind has stayed fairly calm, you know, it's down, never gets much above 12 knots or so. So we expect to get to the anchorage in about at about 4:30 this afternoon. A little bit later than we expected because our traveling has been a little slower. We've been having to run the engine quite a bit in order to get there before dark for a couple of days now. The wind hasn't been very strong. Usually we've been using full sail, and sometimes even the asymmetric has been up. But anyway, that's more comfortable than having raging winds anyway. So yeah, going to continue on now and get there this afternoon. Storms in our way. Just trying to outrun it, get around the outside of it.
What he wants, or
yeah. Well, we're here and we have a welcoming committee. Yeah, he speaks Portuguese, I think. So there's very little communication going on. I think he just came out to basically check on us and satisfy his curiosity.
no idea even where to begin talking to him.
Yeah. Our welcoming committee there pantomimed that he would like to have some disposable razors, so I gave him a couple of disposable razors and he went off happy. It's October 23rd and goodbye to Ilha Casuarina. We're heading on in the direction of Bazaruto. The sea hasn't quite had a chance to settle down. The wind isn't going into the north like it's supposed to, but we're going to head off anyway. Staying fairly close to the shore. The shoreline is just out of sight, only about 10 miles off. Just about to pass by another one of the Primeiras Islands called Ilha de Fogo, and I thought I was seeing the next island just off to the right of it, but it turns out it's anchored fishing boats. There's a row of anchored fishing boats there waiting for the weather to improve. As you can see, the swells are quite large. They're about 4 meters. It's very exhilarating sailing. Quite delightful. We're actually beating or on an extreme close reach. Second time going by these damn fishing boats at Fogo. Because we're beating out into the ocean more, maybe we'll catch some current. October 24, still beating heavily toward Bazaruto. Matt has caught a fish.
Yep, not too big.
Okay. Very cool.
Sorry, you can step over my feet there.
So you were right after all, Carol.
Yep.
You were right, Carol. Oh, shit. Oh, this thing's driving me nuts. Need a different, Tommy's gonna get all wound up in that other one. Definitely not a shark. It's like a wahoo again. Yeah, I think it is a wahoo.
Good. Woohoo! Wahoo!
Yeah, that looks like a wahoo to me.
It does. No, almost as big as the other one, not quite.
Nah, he's like 2 feet.
Oh, okay. That's still good though for us.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's great.
Great size fish. Funny thing is, I didn't think that he would get caught on there. That lure is
That's a really big lure.
the huge lure. I thought I was worried about using this lure because I thought I would catch a really big fish, you know, but it's a perfect size fish. Good.
Yeah, that's a good few meals, couple of meals for us.
Well, they say gentlemen don't sail to windward, and I may not be a gentleman, I don't know, but I don't think I sail to windward either. It's very uncomfortable. Down below, everything's on a 30-degree slant, or makes it very difficult to move around, get anything done. And you're really not moving all that fast, although it seems furious because of the fact that you're going against the wind. The swells are coming up again, now that the wind is temporarily raised a bit. The swells we had were about 4.5 meters. Now they're not quite that big now, maybe a couple of meters, but they're more than they were. Of course, the video doesn't show that at all. It's a well-known fact. It's very difficult to see any kind of wave heights on a video. It just doesn't work. Anyway, trust me. The day that we left, we had the 4.5 meter tall swells, and they were quite spectacular. Right now the sea is kind of a greeny blue. At times it's been jade green, especially closer into the coast, as I believe that we're going by the mouth of the Zambezi River. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not, or whether it's just a trick of the light or whatever. Maybe we're back in the current of the Agulhas. I don't know. Anyway, we've got just a little over 200 nautical miles to go yet. We can't lay the course to Bazaruto, but we're not too far off it. So what we'll do when this wind dies down in a day or so is drop the sails and motor to the first waypoint. But hopefully we can get pretty close before we have to do that. That's the plan.
This is how we move about when we're heeled over. Hanging on for dear life. Should we call it doing the fun house walk?
Yeah.
Okay, Carol's demonstration of the Funhouse Shuffle.
Well, it's October 25. Tomorrow we arrive at the anchorage behind Bazaruto. And you can tell there's another storm system coming, as we had some swells coming today. About 2-meter swells, nothing too much, but obviously showing us that there's something going on. This is a fishing boat that's out here, a trawler, one of the few boats that we've seen. And tomorrow we'll get to sleep in all night, hopefully. The 26th of October, our first sight of land. Barely visible on the horizon there. That's the island of Bazaruto. You can see how little the chart here actually helps us, because on the course that we're doing here, on the route we're taking, it seems to take us right over some coral and stuff. These sandbanks are continually shifting in here. So the whole idea is to get here at low water, at low tide, where you can see the sandbanks under the water, and then just guide your way in. Now, fortunately we have good waypoints that have been confirmed just a few days ago as being perfectly good, that we can follow in. So we will follow those in. We don't have to worry in this instance that our information is old. As it turned out, our arrival here was perfectly timed. It was just by coincidence that we're actually getting here to the entrance to the channels here behind the island at exactly low water, which just happens to be pretty well at 12 noon today. So perfect arrival for the tide, and also perfect arrival to arrive during the daytime and not at night. There's been stories that I've read about people arriving here in the dark and then having to decide what to do, especially when the waves are high. It's not pleasant. Well, it would make one nervous, except that we're drifting, crabbing off to the side about 20 degrees away from that. But you have to watch the water, that's for sure. You have to read the water. We're at 5 meters. And we've got breaking little wavelets up ahead. That makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Our heading and our course are lined up. So that's a true 4 meters. 3 meters. Whoa!
Whoa!
Running aground.
Shit.
Passing over.
Sand.
passed over that one. It certainly doesn't seem right, does it?
No, it doesn't.
It's hard to understand it. This is the route.
Yeah, it seems really.
This is the route, but it just doesn't seem right.
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to go to the right. I'm not going to trust his route. I can't right now. There's no way. I'm turning right. Yeah, I'm not worried about the dark. It's the light stuff I got to stay away from. Yeah, that can't be right. Yeah, I see that. Trouble is, we got a current helping to pull us in.
Touching again.
Yeah, we're touching bottom again, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just got to get over this next little bit here, and then we're into what looks like quite a deep cauldron here. I believe that our chart plotters, or not chart plotter, but the depth sounder has not been properly, and we've been trying to think of the word, not right, just calibrated. Yes, it hasn't been calibrated. I think maybe when it lost power at one time when I was working on things, it lost its calibration. One last little shallow bit to get through. Looks like there may be a little passage out over here.
There's sort of ripple, waves coming, wavelets coming.
Yeah, that's just from the wind. But here, this is closer. I think I'm going to just try to pop out here. Hopefully there is any kind of a buildup of sand on the edge here. If there is, we'll be over it fairly soon anyway, with a rising tide. 8 meters actually. So that looks good. 7.9, 7.8, 7.7, 7.6, 7.5, 7.4, 7.3, 7, 6.9, 6.8, 6.7. I think we're going to be alright. 6.6, 6.2. Yeah, it's getting deeper now. Okay, good. Oh, you can only get away with not paying fees so often. Maybe not. Got away with it again. Yeah, we're off to go up pirating, or actually just to go ashore and climb a sand dune.
So Brian, what are you doing exactly?
Trusty pirate drags the boat ashore. His captives.
So we thought we'd come ashore, and turns out the water's too shallow for us to come completely ashore. So our trusty captain is hauling us in as we sit back on the boat. But we're dragging again, so we're gonna have to get out now.
You next. I'm the last one out because I'm the lightest.
Who goes ashore on low tide? I don't know. These people all harvesting something out here.
Nothing would you like to buy, like a beer, calamari, vegetable, fruit?
You have vegetables?
Yeah, we do.
But we only have money on the boat. We didn't, like I said.
No, I can understand. That is another.
What kind of vegetables do you have?
We have some carrot, potato, onion, tomato.
Can you bring them to the boat?
No, no.
Yeah. Well, we're leaving tomorrow.
Leave tomorrow.
Yeah. Tomorrow afternoon.
Tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can negotiate.
Okay.
Like that. But what kind of money do you take?
US and rand.
Okay,
Oh, you take rand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are on 23 boats right now. They left the day before yesterday.
Yes.
They are safe.
Oh, look at this. Oh, it's an ironstone. An ironstone horror to get across. And on the shore here, millions of shells. The flamingos are out there.
So that's why I was saying that there are. But if you want to walk it down, when the water comes, the little boy will take the boat until it reaches. Maybe you would like to walk it a little longer.
Flamingo tracks along the shore here.
On the in Mozambique or just here?
No, just here on Bazaruto Island.
Bazaruto. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And what's the main language in Mozambique?
The main language in Mozambique, in all Mozambique is Portuguese.
Portuguese. It is Portuguese.
But each province has its own language.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Gotta get him to move.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's a river?
Yeah.
But it's salt water, yeah?
Somehow this is not something you expect. Water comes draining out of that forest over there, beyond Tomás.
To make local beer.
Okay,
When they make local beer, they like to drink.
okay.
Even children, women, gentlemen, all of this drinking.
Okay, Matopuki village.
Topoke village.
That's over here. Village of the people who like to drink.
Yeah. They like to drink in jembe. Jembe is a kind of beer which is made from rice.
Ah,
They put rice, they keep for days, and then they boil, and they prepare it and red, so they put sugar and they drink.
oh, okay.
Yes. That is the reason we call Matopuki village here.
Okay, so your name?
My name is Tomás José Mufumi.
Okay.
Yes, I'm the one who was born in the island,
Uh-huh.
and my parents also live in the island.
Okay.
Yes, so if possible, I would like to get some help for the next time.
Yeah.
For my better life in the future.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, sounds good. This road is used by guests at the hotels or the resort near here to go up and see the windward side of the island.
Oh, that's what the shells are. Okay.
What kind of food is it?
That's all?
Yeah, what is it? Is it sweet? Is it?
Yeah, it's a seed. People also can eat. So, but I don't know the proper name in English.
Oh.
Yeah, but people also can eat. These seeds, people can eat.
It looks like passion
Mark
fruit to
apple.
me.
People can eat.
Okay. So there are monkeys here on the island, but it's the height of the day, so they're hiding in the trees to keep cool. And we probably won't see them.
Bom dia.